Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. It's Thursday, so it means another illustration day. We're going to continue working on this birthday Gryphon greeting card illustration. Before I get started, I'd like to introduce my charity of the month, which is Food for Life Global. They help feed hungry people with nutritious vegan meals, so they're also helping animals at the same time, which is super awesome and what I'm all about. All you have to do to help me help them is watch my stream. Bring your friends. I'm going to be making a donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count here on Twitch. You can also donate directly. I have a little sort of matching fundraiser going, because I usually end up donating $10 based on my formula for my monthly donations. So there's like a viewer match going on Twitch. There should be a button somewhere there. You can donate if you'd like to donate more directly to Food for Life Global. So for the illustration I'm working on, as I said earlier, it's a birthday card illustration. So this line down the middle is where it will fold. It's going to be a once it's folded, it'll be a 5x7 greeting card, half fold greeting card. And so we've got these Gryphons all drawn. It's baby Gryphon's first birthday party, inspired by this kind of thing, how babies always get the cake all over their face. This one in the corner is the one that inspired the whole thing. So I'm in the process of transferring this sketch done with blue and red mechanical colored pencil. It's these Pilot Color Eno. I don't know if it's Eno or Eno. But anyway, that's what I did the sketch with, and now I am tracing it onto this tracing paper. There's just this little corner left to go, and then we will start the next step of the transfer process. So let's just jump in. Oh, my bitrate is terrible again. Once again, I didn't have time to look into it. Oh, I'm just going to be stuck with a terrible bitrate for the rest of my life. I don't always show it off, but I want to show off my favorite graphite mechanical pencil. It has Celeste from Animal Crossing. I got it in Japan last year at the Nintendo store. I think it was the one in Osaka. And yeah, I love it so much. It's so cute. It's so adorable. And if you spin it, the shooting stars, I don't know if you're seeing that. So Celeste can be watching the shooting stars. So if you spin it, then they sort of fall. It's so cute. Using cute stuff, or using stuff that just makes you happy, just completely ups the motivation and makes it even more fun than it already is. Okay, so this Gryphon in the background is so tiny, I need to pick up the sheet in order to see. Okay, in order to see exactly what I meant to do here. It's just teeny tiny. It's very hard to see that I've just got these two little happy eyes, and then the beak comes out the middle. And of course, anthropomorphizing a smile onto the face, because the recipients of these cards will be human. So we're going to use that little human emotional display, even though I don't think that these would naturally have a smile. All right, I think that's good. And the wings are just tucked in nice. And the little claws, you can see, and the webbed feet. The creatures I put together to create these Gryphons are little pied cormorants, which are water birds, so that's why they have these webbed feet. They hunt fish and shellfish and stuff. And the ends are tiger quolls, which are from the same area of the world and I'd never heard of them before, and they're totally adorable, so go ahead and look those up. Give them a little Google. They're so cute. Tiger quote. They're the only extant marsupial predator left. So they're pretty special too. So this is kind of fun. I just realized this is the first time I've done a marsupial as the back half of a griffin. Of the many, I've done a seal before. Like the ocean animal, seal. Never done any marsupial until now. Okay. Nearly there. For this griffin, just need to build this branch that it's sitting on. And then, well, actually, I was gonna say all we had left to do to finish this last griffin was draw the tail, but the tail is hanging down behind some of this stuff that's in the nest. And for me to be able to draw, I don't know if it necessarily has to be this way, but for the way my brain works, I need to draw the stuff that's in front first, as far as the scene is concerned. Because once those lines are established, then I know where to end the lines for the stuff that's going behind it. If I just sort of draw the stuff behind first, then I have to try and force the stuff in front to match those lines, or redraw these lines for the back stuff or whatever. It's no, I'm not going to do that. So we're actually going to move all the way to the front now. We are in the very back of the scene. Now we're going to move all the way to the front so that we can then move back in space. I'm using my fingers to hold down the tracing paper because it makes it much easier to see if you can keep it really, really close to the paper below it. Just the tiniest bit of space makes it difficult to see. What's underneath it immediately becomes blurry. Exie, hello! How are you? So great to see you! Oh, I still love those animated emotes that you made. They look so good. Pew! Ranger just pops right in. Pew! It's so cute. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Hopefully today will be a little bit quieter stream than yesterday. Yes, I gave you the VIP! Twitch. Twitch was like, I had a notification before my stream yesterday, but I was running a bit late, so I didn't have time to look at it. And after I looked at it, it was like, you qualify for VIP or whatever. I'm like, what the heck is VIP? And so I go and look at it, like, oh, I'm going to give it to Exie. Exie is definitely my VIP. So, oh, good. I'm so glad that you're doing well. How are you? I'm good. I'm good, too. It's just another lovely day here at Studio Mikarts. I actually started my day out really, really well. I was trying to walk my dogs after streaming and after my entire workday was over, but I've just been getting so tired that I haven't been doing it the past couple weeks, except for like 1 or 2 times. And I was feeling really guilty because I was not getting my dogs the exercise that they deserve. And so I figured it out. I'm now doing my morning workout, which I always do. It totally jazzes me up and gets me ready for the day. And then I go take my dogs on a walk immediately after. Don't change clothes. I'm still in the same sweaty workout clothes. I get out the door, take them for a walk. So I'm actually quite happy because I finally took them on a walk and my guilt is gone. So I'm feeling extra good because of that. Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad that you are always here with me. So it was so nice to have that pop up from Twitch and be like, hey, don't you want to use this new thing? Yep. I was like, oh yay, I know exactly who's getting this. I was going to give one to Wolf too, but it won't let me do moderator and VIP. And Wolf offered last time to be moderator for me because I completely forgot to do a shout out for the last raid that we got. And like I remembered at the moment, but so many things were happening all at once, and I was like, oh my god, and it was supposed to be break time at the same time, and I thought of it, oh, I need to do a shout out, but then all these other things completely overrode that, and so I was like, oh, thank you, yes, please be my moderator. So that's why Wolf is got the moderator, and then so I have a special thing to give to you too, so whee! There she goes. There goes Ranger. Whee! No, I'm imagining that her legs, she's like doing, what is that called when you're like jumping off of buildings and stuff and you're like, boom, 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 boom. Oh, what is that called? Parkour. She's doing parkour over and over, jumping on the walls. So I just imagine the story behind that spinning happy. Ah. There's so many good things I'm thinking about, looking forward to making my next custom emote. But first I want to finish Chibi Sanji, and then I wanted to do, as a sort of birthday present to myself, Chibi Usopp from the live action show, because character Usopp has same birthday as me, and for many, many years it's not been an annual thing, but I have drawn many times fan art of Usopp, or sometimes, a lot of the time, me and Usopp together as a birthday image. So I wanted to do a Chibi Usopp too. And then I'll get back to the subscriber icons. And then once I have those, how many did I make? 4? Once I have the next 3 of those done, then I'll do my next custom emote. There's so many things to do. It's very fun. It's very fun making stuff for my channel and seeing the channel grow and stuff and learning all of these things I didn't know anything about. I'm kind of glad that it's not all in your face at once, the way Twitch introduces it over time or based on your performance, really. It's a relief. Because there's so much you can do. Okay. This complicated stuff here. It's always a bit hard mentally to do this. This is the kind of part where if I wasn't live streaming or if I wasn't super motivated, I would find something else to procrastinate with for a little bit. Just because it's so... Even though I'm the one who drew it. I'm the one who drew this scene. And all I have to do is trace, but it's still so... It's so much. It's okay though. Almost done. Almost done. Anything cool happening with you, XE, since yesterday? Though if it's all smooth sailing, that's probably best too. So have it nice and easy. Hope it's not being caught too much on the microphone, but someone in the neighborhood really near to my house has been doing some sort of work. I have no idea what it is, but there's this sound of machinery, constant machinery going, and it's been going almost all day. Well, I'd say all afternoon. I didn't really notice it in the morning, because in the morning I do my writing work, studying, etc., and I was actually pleasantly surprised at how quiet things were. But there's even like the beeping sounds of trucks backing up and stuff. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it's not too loud. Oh, good. Oh, cool. What language are you learning? Or languages? I only know the super basic. I don't know if it, let's see. Well, well, maybe there'd be a little bit of stuff that I could recall, but the only programming language I really knew from my computer operator days was, I think it was called CL. It's been so long that I don't actually remember, but it was not a very commonly used language. It was very specific to our operating system. And one of the pluses is that makes it less likely that people could hack in because it's not that well known. And there were some other reasons why, like I think because there was no real, everything we did was directly in code. It was kind of like working in DOS or something, but I only knew what I needed to know to do the things that I was charged with, which was not that much. We were sort of like jack of all trades type of department. And we did a little bit of everything. We were there to support everyone, and so I would never be able to like write anything in it, you know? I know HTML too, but I don't know if that counts as programming. Plus, it's the same story. I only know enough that what I need. I could never like write a modern website from scratch or something. See, what's that? Pound? C pound? C, I guess. Oh, C. C. C sharp. Okay, I get it. That's funny. Unity game engine. So is your purpose you're gonna make a game? That would be cool. Or you want to edit a game. Edit an existing game. Okay. We're so close to adding the tail, and when I add the tail, that's going to be the last thing, and we can go to the next step. Hooray! Okay, let's add, let me see, is this a leaf, or is this meant to be another stick? I can't tell even when I look at it. Let's say it's a leaf. Oh, making a game. Neat. What kind of game do you want to make? Like what genre or something? I think about games that I'd want to make all the time. Of course, it's always stuff like Animal Crossing, but you're not imprisoning animals you're not imprisoning insects and fish in the museum, and you know, stuff like that. You're not having to kill the fish to make the food recipes, that kind of thing. That's all I want. I want it to be like Animal Crossing, but like don't hurt anyone. That's the kind of thing I think about. Okay. Now I'm adding a little bit to the sketch. Now that it's so nice and clean, there's just little areas where I'd like to get the talons much more clear. That this is talon and this is the rest of the foot. Okay, those ones are so tiny, I won't bother with that. Okay. Now I'm going to do one last look over want to see if there's anywhere I forgot any lines. Right here, there was a line right there. Here's a line here. Probably needs a line right there. Oh yeah, that looks way better doing that. Okay. No. Oh, factory building game. Kind of like those. I'm trying to think. Like those games where you start out with a teeny tiny business and then, so I'm thinking factory. Okay, so factory. So you're making just like some little simple thing and you sell that thing and then it gets better. So then you can build the next bigger factory and make some more complicated thing, like that kind of game. I have played those on my phone a lot in the past where they're so addictive, too. It's so nice to just easily progress from the next thing to the next thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, I love those. I've played so many of those. There's this one that I like so much that even though my file something happened, my file got corrupted or something and I lost all my progress, I started it over anyway and just went. And it was kind of like a fantasy one, too. I can't remember the name, but it was, you know, yeah, you start out with like a little village, and you have like bows and arrows to defeat the monsters, and sometimes waves of monsters will come, and then you can build your village into like a castle eventually, and you have like dragons and stuff. Just check in for any lines that seem, I mean, there's so many lines on here, I will probably miss some anyway, but let's just try. Let's just try to find any missed ones before we transfer this. Yeah, the way you describe it, optimization and organization, yep, that's my perfect game. That's why when I don't have very much time to play a game, it's my goal to, oh look, I found an area I missed. It's my goal to play a video game every day, to stay in touch with my hobbies, have relaxation time, etc. But sometimes I literally only have like 5 minutes. So the game I play when that happens is a little to the left. And I don't know about optimization, but organization is definitely what that game is about. It's literally about organizing the junk or whatever. Or sometimes it's like broken vases or something, you have to put them back together. And I love that game so much. That game is perfect for me. I do that kind of thing in real life. Okay, let's put a little more line here. Okay. Oh, awesome! Did you get the DLC? Do you have the DLC? I finished the main one, and now I'm working on the DLC. I mean, it's a story, you know, it's like heavy quotes for story, but I finished the story mode. It actually brought a little heartwarming tear to my eye to finish the original story. I was like, this is so sweet. And I was just tearing up because it was so lovely, and I don't know if that's happened to me before. So it was just so heartwarming that my eyes were watering. I'm so glad that you're playing it too. Oh, yeah, if you like the first one, I definitely recommend the DLC. It's just like more of the same in the best way possible. Let's bring this line all the way up. It's like this one was. Yep, I've been slowly going through that one when the games I'm playing now, Animal Crossing, I made my end game list. I'm calling it my end game list, or I think there's 11 things on it that I want to do, and then I'll feel like I can be done playing Animal Crossing. So like get the golden shovel, all the other golden tools that I don't have. I only have 2. And like get all the bugs and stuff for the museum, like finish my museum basically. Yeah, that kind of thing. And then I'm also playing Sympathy Kiss, which is my current Otome game. That's where my lovely tea tumbler came from. And a little to the left, and oh, I'm playing Bustafellows, which is another Otome game with my sister. And I'm playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which is so fun. I think I'm going to play a bunch of that over my birthday vacation week. I just want to say, it's so awesome that you're playing games with your mom, because I played games with my mom too, and it was the best. I have lots of great memories of playing games together. Ah, I've noticed something. The way this branch is coming like this, but it just sort of ends. So let's bring this line across. Whoop. Right there. Haha! I mean, it could have been that it just cut off right here, but that doesn't really make sense because it's branching out this way, which means it's growing out this way, so it couldn't be cut right here. Oh, I'm glad I noticed that. That's why I take the little extra time to look it over, even though it's not very interesting for anybody watching this, but... Because it's hard. It's not, I can't be like a robot, you know, like a printer, you know, like this. I can't do that. I just have to keep looking and think, did I look here? Did I look here? Because it's more like I can look at areas. That's what my brain can process is the face, the feet, whatever. So oh, Bomberman! Pac-Man, yeah. Pac-Man is one that I always associate with going to the arcade. I know there's Pac-Man on consoles and stuff, but to me that's like, that's when we go to the arcade. But Bomberman, so nice. What system did you play Bomberman on? I didn't really like the one that came out on the Switch when the Switch first came out, because it was very, very difficult for me to see what was going on. It wasn't visually clear, just like everything looked like everything, and there was so much, and it was just this, like, you'd call it an overall composition if it was an illustration where there's no clear focus, and it was just so hard to see the characters or see the bombs. I'd always run into the bombs over and over, but my favorite, and I played this with my mom and my siblings a lot, was the Bomberman on the Super Nintendo. That one was, I love playing that over and over. Oh, okay, on Windows. Interesting. Oh, it's so fun though. Bomberman is so fun. It's so sad about the Switch one, because it's so basic. Yeah, it's kind of like Pac-Man, where it's like people can get it really quickly, and then it's so fun. You just have the 4 characters, or two or 3. I wonder, do you have to have 4, and it's like whoever's not an actual player is a CPU, or was it that you could have 2? Oh man, I'm remembering how fun it was. It's different levels had different things. Like, I remember there being an ice level, and so bombs would just, or did they always? You could always kick them. But I remember there being different levels with different stuff, or you could like go up high, or... Oh, now I want to play Bomberman, because I have not played it in so long, and I'm not remembering. I think I've got everything. There's one line right here. I think it's meant to be the stem for this leaf. Of course, I say I think I've got everything, and I find stuff. That's just how it goes, though. It looks so good, if I do say so myself. always a little bit self-conscious when I say nice things about my own work, but I worked hard on it, so I'm happy with how it looks. Here's a little close-up before we move on to the next step, where I'll just be putting a bunch of graphite on the back of this. So I think I got all the little lines that were going to be missed. I was able to get them all. I got this corner done. Yay! Okay. So next step in the tracing transfer process, I'll put my graphite mechanical pencil away and carefully remove the tracing paper. Oh, it's quite sticky. Carefully remove it. There we go. From the sketch. Alright. Half done. Next tape. There. Yay, okay. I'll set this sketch aside. And now I shall clip this to my clipboard. And everywhere, oh, so it looks so interesting on the camera. I can see the lines much clearer with my naked eye than when I'm looking at it on the camera. Anyway, anywhere there's a line, I'm going to get graphite all over myself. Take this giant graphite crayon and draw on the back. And I just got, this is a pretty chill task. All I gotta do is make sure not to miss any spots. It can be really roughly done. You don't even have to color it in super completely, because we're going to take the tortillon over there and smooth it out before we go to the next step. I have the softest graphite crayon, at least that I'm aware this brand makes. This brand is Lyra. It's the 9B. You want some really nice soft graphite, because if it's too hard, it won't transfer. And since I use graphite on the other side, I might have to erase my clipboard before I move on. Or at least before I put my next drawing on there. Because yesterday I realized that after I had started using graphite, that perhaps I did not actually use graphite to trace, because I can't remember my own procedure. But anyway, this pressure is probably transferring some of the graphite from the sketch onto the clipboard now. Which is not a problem. It's just something I want to keep in mind so that I don't accidentally get it on a drawing that's completely unrelated to this later. Some areas like this, where there's so many lines, I'm just going to fill the whole thing in. And not trace individual lines, because it's just, sometimes it's less work. But I don't like filling in the entire back of the paper, because that actually, I think, would take longer. Than following the lines. Ooh, the construction work from outside, or whatever it was, is gone. Hooray! Maybe that's what that car backing up beeping sound was. It was them getting done. Man, I am stoked for the final version of this. The sketch was so hard. It's like I knew I could do it, but it is a little bit demotivating when it's harder than usual. And you have to put in the extra effort to make it match what you know you can do. But I've overcome that, and now it's just sort of doing what I usually do. There shouldn't be any unusual difficulties from here on out. That's what I get for always choosing rare animals. I don't know why I always do this to myself. I could have just picked a seagull. That would have been easy. I think it's just because I love learning about animals. But then I make it hard for myself. It's like with my autumn Gryphon that I finished before this. I could only find one single decent reference image of the Azumi shrew. That wasn't a dead one. I didn't want a reference image of a dead one. But now I know about Azumi shrew and tiger quoll and all these other interesting animals. So I'll probably just keep making it hard for myself. Besides, I think it's worth it, especially when a viewer, someone who had not seen my process or anything, and then they look at it, and because they know that animal from their region, they're like, oh, hey, that's a blah blah blah, isn't it? That actually happened with my last birthday card illustration. The person recognized the osprey, and osprey isn't terribly rare, but still, it's more rare than the standard, which is just sort of like a bald eagle or something. And they complimented me on drawing the feet correctly and stuff, and I was like, oh, thank you so much. It makes all the effort I go to worth it when someone notices. That's why, I think that's why it bugs me so much when I can't find a decent reference image. Because I want to make the animal recognizable, even though it's a Gryphon now. But I'd like people to be like, hey, is that a blah blah blah? If I have to draw from imagination, it's not very likely I'll get it quite right. Almost done with this part. I might take my break a little bit early because I don't like the idea of starting the transfer onto the watercolor sheet and then taking the break, because I've got 18 minutes until break time. And I definitely won't be able to finish transferring in just 18 minutes from this point. So there's still one more step before I get to that. But I don't think that step will take me 18 minutes. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. I think I've got the... It looks so interesting on the camera. Wow. It's like a different kind of artwork. Okay. Now I'm looking over just to see if there's any parts where I'm like, oh, let's put a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. I think that's good. So next step, take the tortillon, which I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's what I've seen on the package. Tortillon. Tortillon? Tortillon? Oh, thank you. Yay, I'm so happy. Thank you. The interesting backwards scribble art style. I really do think it looks pretty cool. Alright, maybe someday I'll be like Frank Frazetta and big enough to have people want to do a gallery show of my work. And then they'll want to like show these things as well. Not just the finished pieces, but the process pieces as well. That would be cool. And they could be all framed. Like this would have to be like framed in a double-sided frame, and it's just like suspended from the ceiling so that you could see both sides. That would be fun. Frank Frazetta, I watched his little biography documentary. I only watched it once, so maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, but I believe that he did so well in his career that he had his own gallery on his, like, at his home. Like, his own gallery of his own art. And like he said, his key was he kept all his originals. He never sold originals. And then once he got really well known and people were like, please, we want to buy your originals, he would, and he needed some income, he would just sell one. He would send one, pick one out of his gallery, send it off to auction, and then get some more income that way. And that's the only way he would sell his originals. I love that documentary. My dad recommended it to me, and I was like, what's this? I don't know what this is. Because even though I'd seen Frank Frazetta's art before, I didn't know the name at that point. And then watching that, I was like, oh, wow. Someone who... This guy is not a starving artist. Well, he was not. At that point, he was long dead by the time I watched the documentary, but... It was inspiring to be like, wow, you don't have to be a starving artist with a black beret and you know, that stereotype that they always had in cartoons when I was a kid. And also the fact that he basically did all fantasy art was another thing. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't want to do gallery art, and I don't want to do like traditional art. I want to do cool fantasy art. Okay, I'm holding the page down with my fingers now because I'm getting so close to the end that the clip doesn't really help. And it keeps flopping all around from the pressure of smoothing this graphite out. The reason why I smooth the graphite out is twofold. One, it ensures there will be an even transfer of graphite onto the surface below. And then two, it ensures there's graphite covering everywhere where you need it to be. I guess a third reason is it pushes the graphite onto the page so that you don't get too much extra unwanted graphite going onto your final substrate either. So I guess it's a threefold reason. Okay. I'm going to do one more little rough pass. Aoife is snoring away. It's getting louder. Usually when it's getting louder, it means that she's having a dream. Oh, it's a little quieter. The dream is calming down. Okay. Well, there's still 10 minutes to normal break time, but I think I'm going to take my break early so that I don't have to stop mid-transfer, because I'm definitely going to need more than 10 minutes to get this onto the watercolor sheet. So, I'm going to put my little be right back card here and turn off my mic. Let's go have a stretch and walk around and everything. I hope everybody else will also take a break. I will be back in 5 minutes. hope you're all back too. I'm going to turn up my mic slowly so that it's not surprising. Turn it all the way down before I turn it back on. Wouldn't I be right back? Back over there. I'm going to take a sip of my delicious tea first. Hello, hello. I realized recently that I drink a lot of tea, but I love tea. I don't have a problem with it at all. I drink tea first thing in the morning, and then I usually re-steep the tea bag for another cup in the afternoon. And I usually prefer to order tea if I order anything other than water at a restaurant. Okay, anyway. I need my sheet of watercolor paper. I believe I still have a few that are pre-cut. So I'm just going behind my desk to my paper storage. These are too small. Here we go. Yep, I have a huge stack of pre-cut. I have at least enough to last me for the next year. Okay. So this is, it's the part of the corner. I have my fingers on it. It's the part of the paper that has the watermark on it, but it's Winsor Newton brand. It's rough cold press. Can't really see, but it has a really, oh, look, you can see it has a lovely texture. This is my favorite, the rough cold pressed watercolor paper, 300 pounds. I actually want to clean this little fingerprints off of there. I don't know if that's from just now, which is quite likely considering all this graphite right here, or if it's from earlier. So these sheets come in giant sheets, and I can't remember, but I think I got these sheets because it was cheaper just to get these giant sheets and then cut them down, because I have a nice big paper cutter, big and heavy weight, so that it can handle this. Like, I don't know how many millimeters this is. This has got to be at least a full millimeter thick. Centimeter and then millimeter, yeah. This is the back, but I don't want graphite on the back and then I grab it and then I transfer that to the front. So let's clean this. I chopped these all up a long time ago, like probably 3 years ago when I first started doing, or maybe 2 years ago. I've got some on this. Here on my desk too. I'll try to get that off. If there's graphite sitting around, it's going to get on areas that I don't want. So it probably was today that I just got that on there, on the paper. Anyway, I chopped all these up and been going through them slowly since 2002. So that's when I started doing birthday Gryphons. Okay. I'm wondering. Oh, yep. It's little bits of graphite on here. Hope it's not from the desk. Ah! I like my art to be nice, clean. I like the marks that are on there not to be by complete accident, like a smudge. I like them to either be a sort of natural process, like the way the watercolor sort of does its own thing. That's fine, but getting graphite smudges, I feel like that's just me not paying attention or not being diligent, so I don't like that. Okay, so now I'm taking this sheet off, turning it back over, and lining it up nice and even on this sheet. And now we can take, hold on, my clipboard wants to slide away. My desk is at an angle, so stuff likes to slide away sometimes. And then fall on the floor and startle the heck out of me. Okay, taking the tape off the back of this sketch, and I use it here. And basically do the opposite of what I did, what I was doing at the beginning of this stream. Okay. Ah. Okay, you don't slide away. Now. Let's see, is this even? I think this is up a little bit. Is that even? Alright. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the more square it is with the edges of the page, the less it distracts me. So, okay, there's one. Maybe today during follow-up time after the stream, I can look into why my bitrate is terrible. It's sometimes good, but seems to continue to fall into the terrible range. So I have not worked on, I have not looked at all into why that's even happening in the first place. Let's see, this goes here. Oh, but I don't want that graphite on there. But it's not that much. Okay, hold on, I'm trying to organize my, I have a pile of stuff accumulating over here, all related to this piece. There. Okay. Let's see. So I like to use, this is like a ball pen. I like to use, it has 3 different colors in it. I like to use the red one because then I can more clearly see if I've already gone over a line. So all I'm going to do is trace this once again. This is a second tracing, and the pressure from the pen will push the graphite that's on the back of this sheet onto this watercolor paper. And that's how you get the drawing transferred. Something I do want to do though is get a sheet of paper to put my hand on, because I did do this and I need to remember in the future not to use graphite. I did do this in graphite. If I do my hand across the page, it's going to smudge the whole thing. So I need to get a protective sheet of paper. Oh, I have the perfect thing. I have some scrap paper, scrap printer paper over here. Oh yeah, perfect. There's some sort of router test on here. There. Yay! It's actually a little bit nerve-wracking. Just a little bit, but this is the part where I really want to be precise. And it's always extra tough because of the texture of the watercolor paper. I love that texture, but it's awful for this because the texture itself pushes your pen in different ways. So it's like you're drawing on top of tiny little hills and valleys. And so it's a lot harder than usual to control where your pen is going. So you gotta draw firmly, but not so firm that you lose control of the pen and it slides off way over to the side. And even though I know all that, it usually happens a little bit here and there anyway. Another thing that you've got to be careful of is pushing too hard and cutting through the paper, and then this ball pen ink gets on the page below. That's also something that has happened to me, and Happens almost every time, actually. I think the last one, the last illustration I did, the Autumn Gryphons, I managed to not puncture the paper. So hopefully that will be the case today too. Yeah, this is why I definitely needed to take my break early, because for all the reasons I just stated, it takes way longer to do this part than to do the earlier part of this process. It's also really tiring because you can't really blink your eyes. I gotta take my slippers off and cross my legs. Ah, that's much better. There's this chair I want to be my work chair that's designed so you can cross your legs in it, because that's how I always want to sit. I want to sit with my legs crossed. So I'm short. I'm not terribly short, but I'm a 5'4". I think that's, I don't know. I don't remember how many centimeters that is, but I'm like average height for a female. But all the desks and chairs and stuff do not go down far enough for me to put my feet on the floor. And so either I have to just have my feet dangling, and no, that's a no-go. That hurts my back really bad, really fast. Or I have to sort of sit weird, or like put my feet on the feet of the chair so that there's room. And I've got like a little footstool thing under my desk here that I use too. But with longer work sessions, I have to change my position after time. So I really want, it's called the soul seat. I really want this chair. So you can cross your legs in it. You can cross just one leg. You can raise the height of the part that you sit on versus the part that your legs sit on. It's so good, but it's expensive. So that might be, once I get the utility sink installed in here, maybe that'll be the next thing I save up the Patreon contributions for. Save up for a nice work chair. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't use graphite. I'm gonna write that. So that I remember next time. Don't use graphite to trace. I wrote on here because I'll look at this one because it's clogging up my pen. So the point of the pen is that I'll be able to tell which lines I've done. Oh, Wolf is here. I was so concentrated on this. Hello, Wolf. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Yeah, they need to make it like a really big stool. Well, that's what this soul seat is. It's like a big stool with like a, it's got this big platform for you to cross your legs, and then there's a normal like seat size seat on top of that. And so you can adjust the height between them and everything. Yep. I do think it would be, it depends, because sometimes it is nice to, so like right now, I'm putting my back on the backrest of my chair, and it's quite nice. But sometimes I do think it would be better not to have arms on the chair and just have a thing that I'm sitting on, like a stool, and spin the. So I had one. I had one. My grandpa had one, and I loved to use it. And you would spin it. You know, you spin it really high, and then you sit, and you can spin yourself on it or whatever. Those kind of stools. Sometimes I do think that's what I want, but no, I want this. I want this soul seat. So I think I could even use it to sit in the pose I sit in at my writing desk, which is a low desk to the floor, and I just have a cushion. I have my meditation cushion, which is, I use it for meditation, but then I also write there. And I sit so that my legs are folded under me like this, and the cushion is here in between supporting me, but then my legs are not super tight up against because it's also giving space between the legs and the rest of the body. So I think I could sit like that on the soul seat too. Yay, I'm glad I'm not alone. You cross your legs in your chair all the time. Yep. I usually have either one leg up, the other leg up, or both legs up. Sometimes I do have the legs down like you would normally see like this, but that's usually at the very beginning. And as my day wears on, that becomes less and less of a comfortable position. I did find a really cool solution. It's like a little platform that you would attach to the chair. So it's kind of like those little footrests like I have under here, but it's attached to the chair and has little wheels of its own so that it's not like always sliding away from you, or you can't quite get it positioned right because it's interfering with the legs of the chair as they're spiking out or whatever, because it's like part of that. It's like a shape like this that goes on top of the legs of the chair, and you can adjust the height and stuff. The problem was it was only in Canada, and they wouldn't ship to the United States. And I think there was also the problem that they wouldn't ship to individuals anyway. They would only ship to like a business. So my hopes were dashed after I found that. I was like, this is exactly what I need, and I don't have to buy a whole nother chair. Since the graphite is blocking the ink from coming out, I keep having to look to make sure I actually did a line because my usual technique's not working. So I gotta just remember in the future. But there's so many steps to what I do that I cannot remember every single one for sure. And that's why I always look at my previous stuff. What did I do for this one? Oh, okay. And then I do it. Missed that line right there. Wait, Wolf, are you saying that you do kneeling in your chair? That's kind of like, yeah, I think kneeling position is actually what I'm, no, okay, I did it. I went through the paper. Did I get it on? Oh, but I didn't get it on the paper below. Yay! Anyway, I think kneeling position is actually what you describe how I sit in my meditation cushion. Are? So like, so that you're facing the back of the chair? Do you have it set so that the chair back doesn't move back and forth? Because if I did that, it would just go. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Do you do work like that, or like what are you doing when you sit like that? So I don't think that would work for me for the kind of work I do usually. Like working on my tablet or this kind of stuff, but that's an interesting idea. If you lock the back of the chair, oh, that construction sound or whatever it is back. I don't know if y'all hear it. I guess they were just taking a break. I thought they would be done for the day. I wonder what the heck they're even doing. It's just this constant buzz kind of sound. kind of like the sound of a lawnmower, but it's going for so long, there's no way they're mowing a lawn, especially not this time of year. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yay, that's kind of what I imagined that it would be nice for. Oh, that's good. Yeah, my chairs are not that sturdy. Especially the one I use over in that one. It's like a hand-me-down. It's kind of weird to say hand-me-down because it's from my little brother. When he moved out, he didn't want it anymore. So, but yeah, it's not the greatest. Not the most stable of chairs. But it was free. The chair I'm in now is actually really good. I hand-picked this one from the office store because it was the best chair I could find that really supported my lower back. So many chairs say that they're for lower back, and then I sit in them and I'm like, this is instantly uncomfortable. There's no way this is going to work. Or so many chairs feel like I'm going to fall out the front, like it feels like it's tipped forward. This one doesn't have any of those problems, so I really like this chair. The only thing is, the right arm, I don't know if you can hear this, it's so wobbly. I have to tighten it every few months, and I don't know where the little wrench thing is, so I haven't been able to tighten it for over a year. I don't know where I put the wrench. It's one of those, oh, what do you call them? Allen wrench? It has like a hexagon shape. That's the only thing that's bad about this chair. This freaking arm. Okay. Lots of tiny lines here, and since my red, the red ink does come out every so often, but it's really not, it's not the usual effect that I get to enjoy, so I just have to keep checking, especially with all these lines. Keep checking, make sure that I didn't miss one. Yep, I didn't do any of these yet. Okay. I guess we'll do stuff in this corner. Whew, this is definitely the kind of thing that I'm so grateful for live streaming, because it's so monotonous. I feel like stopping. I feel like stopping. I'm gonna admit, I love making illustrations. This is my dream career, and sometimes it's such a slog, even though I'm the one doing it. And it doesn't help that I've got a bit of a headache. I took some ibuprofen earlier, but it's not helping. I just gotta keep on going. I don't even have to finish this today. I just have to do as much as I can within the streaming window. Come on, me, you can do this. Change my pose again. Now I have only one leg up and the other leg is down. Miss these couple lines here. And these ones. You still can tell a little bit even without the ink really coming out of this pen, because the pressure is making a dip in the page and then the light is reflecting off of that change in angle of the paper, but it's still not quite enough to to be a really nice indicator of, oh, you definitely did this. I'm glad that even though I pierced the paper earlier, it did not get ink on the lower, I was going to say lower level on the paper below. On the lower level of this drawing. This is not very interesting for anybody to watch, so let me hold this up so you can see the progress so far. So yeah, transfers nice and clean. This is such a nice, easy way to get a drawing onto a really thick piece of paper. Because I do have over here to my left, right, to my right and slightly behind me, another workspace. It's a glass top desk with some lights underneath. There's like a shelf underneath and there's lights on it, and you can use that for tracing. But with this super thick paper, that doesn't really work very well. So that's why I use this method so much, because I do these watercolor pieces so much. The machinery stopped again. Yay! I'm trying to get my paper positioned so that I can draw this whole flower, but I think I'm going to have half of it covered and then move the paper back. I've got the paper here so that I don't smudge the lines since I used graphite. There's probably more times than I think of that I could be using this technique of just putting a little piece of paper down, but the only time I think about it is when it's like the whole piece is gonna get smudged if I don't put this. I guess the other times I could use it, it's just not worth the effort of like breaking my flow of thought to go get a piece of paper. Something I try to do while tracing like this is if there's a long line, I try to complete it all in one stroke, because the tracing paper can move ever so slightly based on the pressure of the pen or as you move along on the drawing, and even though it's taped on the top, it can still move a little bit. And so by doing all the lines in a single stroke, if at all possible, it reduces the chances of it ending up being a sort of off like a broken line because it's slightly off, and this I had to stop, and then this one started here. Usually that's, even if that happens, it can be covered up because I do ink outlines in areas anyway, and then there's all the lines created just by the edges of the watercolor themselves. But the cleaner I can make it in the first place, the better I like the final result. Little sprinkles. Oh man, I can't wait for my birthday week and my Lord of the Rings marathon. I definitely want to make cupcakes. There's a recipe I think I might make for chocolate peanut butter cupcakes. That is like ideal for me. The only way that could be better is if I use a banana, because chocolate peanut butter banana is like my favorite dessert flavor. Or at the very least, it's my favorite ice cream flavor. It's like chocolate ice cream with peanut butter and banana. So that in cupcake form would probably be really good too. How far? Okay. I'm getting kind of far in without finishing some stuff over here, so I'm going to go back over here. Ugh! This is one of those times where if I blink, then I might forget which line I was on. And I think that happened, but I think I didn't miss one. I'll look in a second after I'm done. There's like 1,000 lines right here because it's a fluffy baby feathers chest. Okay, good. I did not miss one. It's like you can't blink. You have to wait until you're done drawing the lines or done with that section, and then you can blink. That's probably why my headache is not getting better. I'm having to concentrate so hard physically using my eyes. I think I didn't get this one. Whew. It wasn't until I started doing it as a career that I realized how physically taxing art making is. Because it seems like, oh, it's so easy just sitting there the whole time. It's really not that easy. It's even writing. Yeah, you're sitting there for the whole time, however long you're writing. You have to maintain that position. And then your hands, depending on how you're writing, your hands will get tired whether it's typing or handwriting. And the same goes for visual art. I'm turning it because it's going to be easier for the shape of this wing here. This is a really tough area to make sure I do everything in. Might have just done that line twice. It's really hard to tell. Oh, yep, I totally missed one in the middle. Well, that's exactly why I only tape along the top. Then I can do like a hinge and lift it up to see. Whew, is that the whole wing? Did I get everything? Yep, looks like I did. Yay! So, hold it up to show you how it's progressing. It's not as bad as the blue ink, but this is still pretty hard to see, but yep, slowly, steadily getting there. Okay, change my pose again. In fact, I'm gonna stretch back a bit. So I have to lean over quite a bit and just be in this certain pose in order to do this. So we'll just stretch and have a drink of my tasty tea. Ah, Okay, I'm refreshed. Let's just continue. Shall I go up or shall I finish? I guess let's go up for a bit. And turn it all the way this way so I can just work down on this garland right here from what is now the top to the bottom. Did I do that part? Okay, it looks like it has an indent. Man! I made this hard for myself by using graphite instead of a pen. I've got to remember, because now I think what I did before was use the black on this same pen. So I'm going to try to remember to do that in the next illustration. At least this note that I wrote right here will remind me not to use graphite again. The nice thing is you won't ever be able to tell by the time the illustration is done. It's just an inconvenience to me at this point. But once this tracing is done, it won't matter. So even if I use graphite again by mistake in the future, it's not the end of the world. Okay. Make sure that got all transferred. Make sure there's no missing lines. Looks good, yay! Okay. So what next? Let's do this tail. So I don't think I did that. Let's see. What have I not done? The tail of this Gryphon. And then the rest of this one. Seems so quiet now without that construction noise. call it construction noise. I don't know if that's what it was. Some sort of machinery noise. It's so quiet now. Man, I can tell this is mentally difficult for me because I keep looking over at my clock on my phone and I'm like, it's only 5 minutes later than it was last time I looked. Hang in there, me. This will be over before you know it. And then you start to get to do the really fun stuff, which is watercolor. Love watercolor. At least the way I do it. There's different ways to use watercolor, and I'm not a very traditional watercolorist. I made my own. I looked up some stuff, but I made up a lot of what I do intuitively, or like spliced techniques from here and there, especially from my favorite watercolor instruction book. It's called I'm looking at it, The Complete Watercolorist Essential Notebook. There's some really cool techniques in there that I have tried or have incorporated into my work. Ah, I see a line that I completely missed right here. That makes sense because look at all this stuff going on. Well, you can't really see, but I'll hold it up. Even after all of my careful looking over, I still missed the line. It's the line of this tail. In between the two tassels, I missed it. But I see it now, so I'll just draw it based on the curve of the line that I did get. So it should come through like this, like that. One little bit of this Gryphon left. I'm going to draw this tail first because it's on top. So all that's left are these longer wing feathers here. And the tail. Yay! That Gryphon is done. So the three on this side are now done. And I got that cupcake in there. So just checking for, before I move even farther along and add more visual information that will make it even harder to notice any missing areas, I'm going to look for such missing areas now. I got it all though. Okay. What next? How about this big cupcake in the corner? Corner cupcake. I love this cupcake. This might be my favorite part of the picture actually. Even though it's in the back, it's just in the corner, just barely in there. Like, it looks so yummy to me. It just really makes me want to eat a cupcake right now. Oh, thank you! Yay! Thank you so much! I'm glad! Yay! Oh, I'm so excited for this one. I know I said this already, but it was so hard. The sketch was so hard. And I also did all my brainstorming on stream, which I'd never done before, so I just didn't have confidence. But I was like, well, I don't have anything else to make, and I want to focus on main work this year, and I did it. But I actually think that it turned out just as good as it would have if I had done that work off stream, which I didn't have time to do, so who knows. I'm glad that I did not make excuses or something, and I was just like, well, it's gonna be on stream, and that was hard. But now I feel like, well, I'll just keep doing it on stream, because even though it's kind of weird content, but it's like I am making illustrations at the pace I wanted. And it's not about pace, but it's about not finding excuses to not do the thing that I really want to do, which is a kind of a weird thing to say, but that happens all the time to me, that the thing I want to do most is the one that I procrastinate on the most. And having live streaming tied to it, I don't procrastinate on that. So, okay, it's very, very hard to tell if I got all of these little lines. Yeah, I think I missed a few right here. There's these little lines for texture, for the little puffy, holy cake texture. They're very, very, very hard to see. Okay, I didn't even get all the lines down the sides of the cupcake yet. What was the last one I did? Looks like that one. Okay, we're gonna do the lines first. I don't want to redraw anything because I might accidentally, it'll have like this echoey effect or something, double image or, you know, that kind of thing, and I don't want that to happen either by redrawing a line that I've already drawn, but it's slightly off. This line right here I did not do. So 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I did not do this one. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 little holes there and 2 there, which I think I just saw those. Okay, sweet. Yay! Now this top edge, I did not do that yet, so let's do that. And then I'll add the cake pocket texture. I don't know what you would call that. The little bubbly texture from the baking soda or baking powder. Oh, I want to bake. I want to bake. I love baking. I just love doing creative stuff. Cooking and baking is especially nice though, because then you get to eat it. Now for this upper part of the cake, like the muffin top type of part. I mean, cupcakes are basically muffins. I can't think of any real difference between a bakery style sweet breakfast muffin and a cupcake. It just doesn't have any frosting on it. It's the same thing. Okay, I'm adding the texture lines for the frosting here. Now the outside edge of the frosting coming in. And I'm saying this for myself just as much for anyone else because if I say it, then I'll know which parts I've done. This last little bit of texture, this sprinkle, this frosting edge, and then the sprinkles that are cutting it. Here, and then the top edge. Whee! Oh, that's not even the top edge. That's the top beak. Top part of the beak. The machinery sounds are back. Okay, let's do this, Gryphon. There's quite a few lines because it's got its wings out and everything, so we're just going to start from the head and work this way. Start sideways. 15 minutes to go. I don't think I'll be able to finish this in 15 minutes, but we'll see how far we get. We might end up being at the same spot we were yesterday, but just with the previous tracing step. That would be interesting. Boop, boop. Alright, top edges of the wings. Alright. Now, these first rows of fluffy feathers. They sort of connect the wings to the body. Alright, and let's draw the edges of the body. Alright, and then this next row of feathers. And on this side. And then this branch that they are standing on is cutting the wing off. So let's draw that first. And the outside of this leg, and the outside of this leg. And now continuing with the biggest feathers on the wings. My hand is getting tired. Ah! Yikes. I'll take a little 30-second break, I think. Whew. Okay. I'm gonna turn it this way to do these ones. I think that'll be easier for my poor hand. Oh shoot, okay, I think I did that one. I lost track of which feather I was doing. Since the graphite is blocking up my pen, I don't have any indication, any strong indication of which lines I've already drawn on. And painting this is going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I just got my little 10-minute notification. 10 minutes left. Let's take a look at the progress. Yay! Yep, even the little details of the face of this farthest away Gryphon. It came through nice and sharp. I don't think I've missed any major lines or anything. Of course, I'll do a nice big check before I say that I'm completely done with tracing. Okay, the little feet here. All four gripping in this front leg. The other front leg. And back foot. Okay, and was this branch drawn? No, the rest of the branch needs to be drawn now. And the bottom. Okay. Now this tail, I think, is all that's left of this Gryphon here. Aoife's having a dream again. Ah, I see. I was like, what's going on right here? I missed a line right here. Ah, glad I noticed that. Much better. And I think I want to add a line here. Oh, probably here too. Yeah, I like that better. I'll show you. I just added a little, it's a teeny tiny thing, but added this line. I can't even point to it because it's so small, but that little V right there between the backmost Gryphon's feathers was not there before. And it was like, wait, where's the tip of the next feather? So I added that. Even if no one else would notice, I would notice, so that's why I like to be precise. Okay, how shall we move on? I guess let's do this, the star of the show, because there's a star in its eye. Let's do this Gryphon next. I think the only part of it I've done is the tassel on its hat and the tail. Yep. My book here is in the way. I definitely would have given up working on this long ago, if not for live streaming. This is awesome. For how self-motivated I have taught myself to be, there's still certain things that need to be tied to other things to make it happen. Oh, have a great dinner! Goodbye! Thank you for joining me. Hopefully see you tomorrow, if you're free. Just finishing up this little Gryphon. 5 minutes left. That sliding out ranger is just so perfect for the got to go. It really looks like a see ya. Now in these next 4 minutes, I would at least like to get this wing done because there's so many lines and it's very easy to forget to draw one. Doing my best to stay focused, stay visually focused, so I don't lose my spot. Okay, let's check. I think I got them all. Oh, I missed one. Right there. Whoops. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and we still have a bit more time. So let's do this claw here. Well, not just the claw. Let's do this hand. Start with the claws. And draw the sticks they're holding on to. And what next? Let's do the neck. Another intense stretch where I don't want to blink without planning it so that I don't miss a line. Alright, the face. Alright, even if it takes me over by a minute or so, I'm gonna finish this Gryphon because there's hardly anything left to do. And I'm not gonna work on this again until next week. So I'd really like to not stop in the middle of a figure. Almost there, just this beak left, the inside of the mouth, and then checking. It's checking to make sure that it's all done, and then we'll be done for today. Okay, let's check. All right. Yay! Ah, perfect timing. Wonderful. Okay, I will hold this up so everybody can see where we got to today. So we got the initial trace done, and we got the graphite applied to the back, And then, so far, this is how much we have transferred to the nice, thick, 300-pound cold press rough surface watercolor paper. Not bad, just like last time, just like where we started. It's just this little corner left. That's funny. All right. Yay, who are we gonna... Heck yeah, another productive day, yes. Oh, it's so nice. I feel like I'm finally doing what I always wanted to do, which is just work on illustration regularly. It doesn't seem like that hard of a thing to do, and yet it's so hard. Oh, let's do Margot Simone art. So, I'm going to go over to my PC because it's easier to read over here for me. Because I hate typing on my phone, and I like to chat with people. Okay, so I'm switching my monitor, my secondary monitor, so I can see it over here, and move my mouse. Okay. Okay. Let's open a new instance of Twitch, a new tab. And yes, okay. Oh, you're welcome. Yay! I'm so glad I'll get to see you tomorrow. Okay, let's see. I'm getting so good at rating. Okay. Margot Simone art. She should change her name to Art. Because that one time that it became a... When I asked her how to pronounce it, the discussion started to get to, like, art, like a pirate. But anyway, okay, let's click the button. Go. Yay! Raid has been created. Okay, while we're waiting for the countdown, thank you everybody for joining me today. It was super awesome as usual. And I will be back tomorrow for Chibi Friday. We're going to continue working on Chibi live action Sanjis, and I'm sure we'll be able to finish it. So I'm super excited for that. I hope to see you then. But it's time to raid now, so let's go. Oh yeah, the raid worked. So for anybody still on my channel or watching this on YouTube, the recording, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Hope to see you then. I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you for watching.